Well, we got the Sonotone back on the workbench. I think we're gonna take it apart and see what she needs and what she looks like inside, how bad it is, make an assessment here. I'll start by taking the knobs off. This is the tuning dial, and it looks like it's not turning the tuning needle. I thought it was, but apparently it's not. It's still got the felt. That's pretty cool. But when we looked at it, remember last time we looked at this, the knobs didn't line up. This tuning knob is sitting down on the bottom down here. It's not in the center of the hole. I wonder what's going on there. Okay, the felt's missing behind that one. But the felt is behind this one. And something of note, this is kind of brass looking. And these two are like silvery, like anodized or galvanized or maybe even aluminum. This is the band switch. I believe this is the on-off volume. Feels kind of... we'll see how that... it kind of feels gritty to me. And the tune, obviously the tune's not working, so... we'll dig a bag out here for our... start putting parts in. All three knobs look the same, so it doesn't matter where they go. They're not marked. We'll clean those up later. These felts, pretty cool. Pretty cool the original felts are with it. Okay. Let's see what we gotta do on the back here. There's three positions to this switch, and none of it's marked. Why would there be three positions? If this controls the earpiece, I'm gonna have to give a think on that. One of them's got to be for the speaker, so it runs like a regular radio. I don't know. Help me to understand. We'll dig into it and find out. Like I said, the cord's in pretty good shape. It's still kind of flexible, but in spots it's hard. Hard as a rock, soft, hard as a rock, soft. This is going to get replaced. But for now, we can use it to do our checks. See, we need the little screwdriver, it looks like. Looks like there's 5 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws. Cool screws. It's just quality. Just old school quality. Now this is the first time I've had the back off of this, so I have not looked in here. I'm sure all the tubes are in here. The guy that sold it to me said it worked, and I told him not to plug it in. So people don't know, right? And they just plug her right into the wall, and the next thing you know, smoky's coming out. They take something out that's not replaceable easily. Some of you guys might be good, might have a fleet of parts, but if it take out one of those IF cans or one of the oscillator coil or the antenna coil, it's pretty much dead to me. No good. Oh yeah, this is old. Let's get this cord through here. Oh yeah, nice. There's the inside of it. There's the back side of it. B131, made in the US of A. Gotta find a home for this. Someplace safe. Now, I'm not sure. Like I said, I've never looked in here before, so. Looks like the getter's still good in these guys. Licensed only for radio, amateur, experimental, and broadcast reception under the following patents of the Radio Corporation of America, RCA. So, I believe this has got shortwave and broadcast. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 tubes, it looks like. I don't think there's another one in there I can't see. There could be, though. 6 tubes. And thank God this is cloth wire, not rubber. Cloth wire, not rubber. So what do we need to get it out of the case? I'm assuming there's screws on the bottom. I haven't really looked at it that close. Yeah, 3 screws. 3 screws on the bottom. Pretty simple. We'll get those screws out and then we'll be right back. We'll get the chassis onto the bench here. Well, I got the chassis out of the cabinet and I wanted to show you guys the inside of the cabinet. It is dirty, but no animals. No evidence of animals in here. So that's a plus. No insects, well, maybe spiders. But the main reason I wanted to show you was the dial face, how it's held in. These just bend over. And the other good thing is it appears it's solid brass. So it looks like we're going to be able to clean it up pretty nicely. Well, I'm really hoping it's solid brass. I hope it's not plated, because these guys are definitely brass. And it looks like they're one with this, but they could just be soldered on. So we'll eventually get to this. We'll clean this out eventually. But for now, we're going to look at the radio itself, the radio chassis itself. So I'll be right back. Well, here's the chassis. It's definite evidence of spiders living in it, but that is not that bad. Just a little bit of cobwebs down here, and looks like a little spider home here. Maybe the egg sac broke and all the little spiders escaped at one time. You know, when was that? When did this happen? How many years has that been in there? It's just incredible, isn't it? So, the speaker looks immaculate for 1930s. That thing is awesome. No noise whatsoever. Clean as a whistle in there too. That is that's just amazing. Nothing's gotten in there and gotten on that speaker, eaten it, corroded, rotted. Bugs haven't chewed a hole in it. It is just something else. We are definitely gonna have to cover that. Gonna have to make something, or I don't think it's gonna be that hard to do. I have a couple of them that I've used before. That is just, I'm just over the moon with that. So let's take a look at that tuning knob. So that looks like the position. Nothing's bent or out of place. It just looks like that's where they put it at the factory. That's weird how low that sits. It's not in line with the rest of them. It's way shorter. I don't know if that shows up on camera pretty good. Yeah, that's something else, isn't it? The corners of the dial are broken off here and here. That's not good. That is not good. But you can't see that when it's installed, and I think that's going to clean up pretty nice. I'm hoping we don't have to remove this. Let's spin it around here and get a look at Let's see if we can get an overall look at the tubers, at the tubenesses. Is that a permanent magnet too, speaker? Is it? How many wires we got coming up here out of the chassis? Nope. Field coil. Field coil. I kind of figured as old as this is. Hopefully that's all okay, because that speaker looks awesome. This one I have questions about if this is an original tube. I don't know when they started making these metal tubes. But she looks corroded. 2 IF cans. So, and it's got a dial belt. Ruh-roh, Shaggy. Ooh, is that screw out? Nope, that can't come up. So, let's bring it over this way just a little bit more. Yeah, it's got a band. It's like an old belt. And it is stiffer than a... Holy smokes. So we're going to have to take this apart to change that, it looks like. Because to get the belt on, let's see. Can we stand it up on this end? Yeah. Well, to get the new belt on, if I can come up with the belt, she looks pretty original. Rubber hose. Rubber. That's not good. But the rest of it looks like it's cloth. Cloth wiring. Okay, it's going to stand up there. I'll have to back you up just a little bit here. There we are. So just eyeballing it here for a few seconds. It looks all original. Well, I'm seeing. But are those going to condensers? Yes. Cloth covered wire coverings for the waxies. Wire wound resistor. Don't know what that is. So there's quite a few of the waxies in here. Looks like there's 2 here buried on top of each other. Another one here. Another one buried up under here where the power cord comes in. Electrolytic. And then 2 other electrolytics. 3 more waxies. And another waxy here. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. But we'll bring up. Oh, I'm gonna put my thumb right through that. I can just, I want to grab it there already. Gotta watch it. So that belt, that's gonna be a problem. Wondering if there's a set screw on that pulley under the belt. And if I use an O-ring, it looks like there's a tensioning system here with the spring right here. Man, that belt is just I don't know how that was ever in line with those other knobs. And is that belt broken? No, the belt is not broken. It's just stiff as can be. Man, that is stiff. Just petrified. Petrified. So it looks like that needle's got to come off. And this is freestanding. Oh, there might be something behind the needle. And there's a set of gears. Let me see if I can get you in there to see this. There's a set of gears in there. Be careful of that speaker. So it looks like the pivot for the tuning gang is on that far one, and the belt, gotta keep you guys looking in there. All right. So you kind of get what's going on in there. So from the looks of it, the belt comes around the tuning knob. There's a tensioner idler pulley right here. If I can get the crud out of the way for you guys to see it. So there's a tensioner idler pulley down in here. The belt comes up around this shaft, and then there's a gear on the back side of that connecting to the gaining tune shaft. There might be an idler in between. I'd have to look in there real close. So does that turn? That gearing could be just really buggered up. No, it turns. I can see the needle moving. And it turns pretty free too. So I think we could probably lube and clean it a little bit better. I don't have a new belt. So for right now, I'm gonna leave that until I can do some research and find a new belt. It looks like our work's cut out for me here. Looks like my work is cut out. Just cleaning this thing's going to be a bugger. And I am not going to try and plug this in the way it sits. Those electrolytics, I don't know. He said it worked, but I just comfortable. Let me think about this for a second. Well, we could plug it in and slowly bring it up on the dim bulb tester. We could limit the amperage going to it, and we can watch it real close that way. Well, first off, we should probably check the filament screen, the filament string, because there is no transformer in this. So let's get the... Because I always screw this up on this meter. You got to move it from voltage to continuity resistance. Always screw that up. So we'll put her in ohmage. Ohmage. I think the switch is on. Yes, the switch is. So let's start with it off. Let's not be afraid. Don't be scared or offended. So what I'm doing here is I got the meter connected there. Can you see the meter? Yeah, I think you can see that now. 174 ohms, but it doesn't waver. That seems awful high, but what do I know? It has continuity though, and it turns right off. 175. Okay, that's going right off of the cord. 175 ohms. Think we need to clean those up? Ah, they're nice and shiny enough. Okay, so we want one bulb, we want the bulbs on. I'm wondering if that's a little better. You can see most of it. Okay, so it's on. We'll turn the volume about halfway. Turn the variac down all the way. So we're on one bulb, and we're on, the bulbs are on. So that's pretty bright. 0.1 amps, 0.18, 43 volts, 0.2 amps, 0.23 amps. The lights come on. There's 60 volts at 0.23. About 64 volts. That's pretty bright. Well, we got electrolytic problems. 80 volts she came on. So that tells us the tubes are all working, possibly. At least the filament strings are. I don't know if you can see that, but we got glowage. You see that one glowing right there? We got them glowing. We got tubes glowing. I'm just not sure about tuning it right now. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. That's a good enough test for me right now. It might have been drawing too many amps that across the line or something might be screwing with it. Trying to think what my next step would be. Probably pull the tubes and start changing capacitors. Might as well pull this gunk out of the way. It's not like it's a Ferrari being pulled out of a garage. Oh, I did not want that to happen. Yeah, I don't particularly want to take this apart unless I have to. But the good thing about what just happened here and what's happened here is we pull these two screws, we pull this out, we might be able to tip this out. You got to pull that screw. We might be able to pull this back and tip it out and see what's going on back here to get this out of the way so we can get to that belt situation going. But both the light bulbs were working. We seen that. It was humming. But I'm okay with that. So I think if I'm going to start changing capacitors is to pull the tubes out and get them stored in a safe place. Start changing capacitors, clean the tubes up, the chassis probably is a good start. Just got to figure out how we're going to tune it if we don't have a belt or a pulley of some sort. I'm going to look online, see if somebody's making a new belt for this, because I seen there was a place on somebody's repopping these old radio belts. Let's see if I can get one for this bad boy. I'd rather have a belt than an O-ring, but I will do what I got to do. I didn't see any pins like the airline had that metal belt, metal drive belt. This one looks like a rubber type drive belt. So we'll have to dig into that. That should work pretty good to protect that from my fingers and screwdrivers from the front side anyway. So I don't think that's going to go anywhere. We're good to go there. If I have to, I'll put more tape on it. Be back.